Today's show is brought to you by State Farm agent Ryan McDevitt. Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Ryan McDevitt is ready to help you combine home and auto and save in Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. Call Ryan today at 630-796-2662. That's 630-796-2662. Or visit his website, ryanismyagent.com. That's ryanismyagent.com. And mention Sports Talk Chicago. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Well, I tried to tell you. 2 days ago, I said Matt Nagy, Ryan Pace, they'd be back, and Chuck Pagano and Mitch Trubisky would be the scapegoats. And what do you know? It happened. That's right, Chuck Pagano retired. Quote unquote, retired. And Matt Nagy said in the press conference today, we need a new quarterback. If we have a good quarterback, we'll be fine. Why do we settle for mediocrity? Always. You know, the last time I checked, sports, life, it's a performance-based business. If you're good, you're rewarded. If you suck, you're fired. That's it. When you hand in a report, okay, at work, and it's not good, it's late, you don't do your job right, the boss doesn't go, well, maybe I'll give you another chance, or, oh, I understand. You're through. You're done. But apparently in the Bears' case, if you're mediocre, if you go 8-8, if you don't conform to your quarterback and break him, you're rewarded. You stay. What do you know? Hell, if that's the case, I'll be an NFL head coach. Let me run a team. I'll do it. I am just so disgusted. I'm so angered, enraged, mad, furious. It's unbelievable. Look, I was happy when the Bears made the playoffs. Don't get me wrong. I still am happy they made it. But it's obvious to me, it should be obvious to you, that Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace are not the answers for this team. Look at their schedule next year. The Bears will not be going 10-6. They're not a playoff team next year. So why retain them? Why claim to your fan base, we're going all in for next year? Really? All in? So what does that mean? Drafting another quarterback? Signing somebody? Trading for someone? Pawning away more and more and more of the future? What is it now? And by the way, Ryan Pace should never be near a quarterback again, and he gets another chance to draft or sign one. Let's see. He signed Mike Glennon, a career-long backup. He signed Nick Foles, who was benched for Gardner Minshew. And yes, he drafted Mitch Trubisky and lost out on 2 potential Hall of Fame quarterbacks. But don't worry. He's great at talent evaluation. He knows exactly what he's doing. That's why he's staying. Look, I know, the Bears get one more year. They get one more year. Fine. Who knows? Maybe the offseason will bring up a Deshaun Watson trade. Maybe they'll sign somebody. Maybe they'll work around the cap situation and sign someone. Who knows? And if that's the case, I take back what I say here today. But based on past history, based on where this team is today, it's not happening. I'd love to be the optimist and tell you it is, but I'm a realist. I've always been. You know that. It's not happening. They're not going to do it. They're not going to go out and bring in a huge, big-time quarterback. They're going to lose. Allen Robinson. They've lost the morale of a lot of players on the team, too. Akeem Hicks tweeting out last night. Can anyone tell me what's going on? Akeem Hicks said that. Talk about dysfunction. You know, many people will tell you the Detroit Lions are the most dysfunctional franchise in the NFL. They're right. But number 2 on that list today, without question, is the Chicago Bears. Let me read you this about Ryan Pace, okay? Listen up. 42-54 record. 2-10 versus Green Bay. 3 bad quarterbacks. 2 bad head coaches. 1 drafted quarterback whom they traded up to get. 0 playoff wins. And the continuous selling of the future. How does any of that equate to, yeah, we like him, have him come back? Any of you who are watching or listening, I want you to comment. I want you to find me on Twitter at Jon Z Sports. Find me and tell me how any of that makes sense. It doesn't. None of it does. What a joke. And you know, the shame is for the fans, really. And I feel very bad for all of you who continue to support this team because every single year you're left disappointed. I don't know one Bears fan who's been happy or satisfied about this team since they made it to the Super Bowl. Not one. See, at least the Cubs made a change. They got it right. The Sox, they've made changes. They're about to be right. The Blackhawks made changes. They were right. The Bulls are in the process of making changes. There's only one team that sticks to the same old song and dance year in and year out, and it's the damn Chicago Bears. That's it. I don't know what to say anymore. I mean, I'm shocked. Not even shocked, I should say. Disappointed. Disappointed for the fan base. Disappointed for these players. How long is the average NFL player's career? 4 years. Any of these guys who play in the Bears today are wasting their careers. All of them who want to be in a Super Bowl, who want to play in a playoff game. It's not happening. It's not happening if you're on this team. That's why I don't blame Allen Robinson for leaving. I don't blame Mitch Trubisky for leaving. I don't blame anybody for leaving. If you want a Super Bowl, if you want positivity, if you want the right direction, don't come here. Great tweet from Carmen DeFalco. Quote, so Ryan Pace has been enamored with Marcus Mariota, signed Mike Glennon, traded up for Mitch Trubisky, and traded for Nick Foles. Yeah, let's let him pick the next quarterback. Thank you. I believe that Mitch got a raw deal. That said, we can all agree Deshaun Watson and Pat Mahomes, they're 10 times better. And the Bears passed on him. And guess what? With Matt Nagy back, goodbye to Mitch. Let's see who he brings in now. Who is he going to break this time? Matt Nagy is not an offensive guru. Anyone who tells you that, you respond with this. Which quarterback will he break today? He broke Mitch Trubisky. And I hope for the best if the Bears especially go and draft somebody. And they have to work under Matt Nagy. Good luck. Good luck. I'm disgusted. This team, in history, in historical standards, is one of the greatest franchises in the NFL. They are. Storied franchise. Loyal, great, supportive fan base. This is a football town. Even when the Cubs won the World Series, even when MJ had his 6 championships, this is, and always will be a football town. We all love our Chicago Bears. But this is the way people have been treated. This is the way fans have been treated. And I think it's time, as fans, to look in the mirror and think to yourselves, should I be supporting this team anymore? What if I don't support? Will changes be made? It's not a crazy thought. It might be tough, don't get me wrong, it'll be tough for me, but it's not a crazy thought. Because the only way, apparently, to force change for this team is to make sure they don't get your money. That's what I see. Tell me I'm wrong. I don't know what else to propose to make things better. Fans are outraged, and nothing happened. During the press conference, Ted Phillips said, "Oh, we can't clean house. I hate that talk." You could yell, you could scream on Twitter, on here, but in the end, your concerns and your voice, it isn't going to be heard. It'll be heard with deaf ears. And that's a shame. By the way, get this. You'll love this. Allen Robinson on Chicago radio yesterday during an interview said, "I don't know who is calling plays the last couple of games of the season. I don't know. It could have been Matt Nagy or Bill Lazor. Or both." I knew it. The Bears will never confirm or deny it. During the press conference, they said those accusations were ludicrous, but Allen Robinson said it. Allen Robinson is on the record as saying it. To me, that's all the evidence I need. That's it. So good old Matt Nagy, whom I praised for giving up play calling. Selfless move. Way to put the team first. It turns out he's putting himself first. What a surprise. I'm more infuriated about Nagy returning than anything else. I'll be honest. I'm more infuriated about that, and here's why. He doesn't have offensive genius. He's shown me nothing. He's shown me nothing. He's broken a very good kid. Broken him. Mitch will go somewhere else. Who knows? Maybe he'll start again. But his career, for all intents and purposes, is over. And it's not his fault. That's what happened. The guy's running the offense when clearly, under his game plan, it didn't work. Doesn't matter. I'm all for having an ego, being confident, being a little bit arrogant. You need to do that to win football games. But let's face it, if you're not producing, you have no right to be that way. If you can't win football games, if your game plan sucks, you can't be that way. Matt Nagy put himself above the team, and guess what? He gets to stay. He gets to stay for doing that. Meanwhile, Allen Robinson, gone. Let's not extend him. Mitch Trubisky, gone. He's broken because of Matt Nagy. That's the big issue. That's the big problem I have. Ryan Pace, I know, can't pick a quarterback, but he's a good guy. He could evaluate late-round talent. You could have promoted him to president, gotten rid of Ted Phillips, gotten rid of Matt Nagy, and yeah, gotten rid of Mitch Trubisky. Fine, I would have been fine with that. But giving Matt Nagy another quarterback, that is a very scary declaration. We've seen what he's done with Mitch, and I know the narrative is, oh, Nagy needs a good quarterback and it'll work. The last time I checked, if you want to be a head coach in the NFL, you have to conform to the talent you're given. You don't make the talent conform to you. It's a player-driven league. I bring up this example all the time because it's such a great point. When Lamar Jackson was drafted, everybody said he's horrible. He'll be a wide receiver, running back. No. John Harbaugh said, what works for you? What could we do to make you more comfortable? And you know what? They're winning. Maybe not Super Bowls, but they're in the playoffs every year. Lamar's a perennial MVP candidate. They're winning. They're fine. 10 years ago, Lamar would have been considered a bust. Today, not the case. Coaches have changed. The league has changed. That's a good thing. That should be celebrated. But Matt Nagy, he's still rolling around in the Stone Age because he doesn't practice that philosophy. You conform to him. Sometimes he'd help out Mitch. Sometimes there were great days for play calling. Others, not so much. No adjustments were made. Nothing happened. But don't worry, he'll be fine with a new quarterback. He'll be great with different personnel, just not this personnel. That's why he couldn't win. Right, because you have a top 10 wideout in Allen Robinson, a top 10 running back in David Montgomery, Mitch Trubisky, who could be an average quarterback, and a bright young star in Darnell Mooney. They were the problem, apparently, not Matt Nagy. Okay. All right. If that's the way you want to go, so be it. But I'll tell you this much. The support from me, gone. I'm done. And unless the Bears go out and make good with their word and get Deshaun Watson or get a game changer that could lead them to the playoffs, I have no faith in any of this. None of it. The Bears are one of the most storied franchises in the NFL. I love their history. You all, I'm sure, love their history, love what they stand for. But what happened with this press conference? What happened for this past season? What's going to happen next year? That does not embody the Bears football I know and I grew up loving. That embodies Cleveland Browns, Detroit Lions football. This is Chicago. These are the Bears. They're a storied franchise, legacy, history. Why are they stooping down to the Lions level? Why are they becoming inferior? They should always be elite. They're not. And the anger I have is just turning into sadness. Frankly, sadness. Because we all know the legends and the greatness that comes with his name. Yet when you look at this team today, none of it stacks up. I feel so bad for the players who have to deal with this. Guys whose careers could be lasting 1, 2, 3, 4 years, and they've been here, stuck here, with a non-contender, with mediocrity. And I feel especially bad for the fan base. Especially bad. I see people commenting on my YouTube channel all the time. I've been a Bears fan for 30 years. I'm 80 years old. I watch the Bears. I feel bad for you especially. You've seen 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 win, and that's really been it. I'm 20. I've seen nothing. And who knows when I will again. A lot of people who are my age and younger, who knows what they'll see from this team over the next 10, 20 years. We don't know. Nothing good. But don't worry. It's acceptable. To them, it's fine. To us, we have to suffer. And we need to demand more from management. More to come here on Sports Talk Chicago. My interview with Pat Boyle comes up next, so stay tuned. Hey, do you want to make some money this weekend? What if I told you I could offer you $250 free to bet on any game you want? Here's what you have to do. Go to sportstalkchicago.com/cash. sportstalkchicago.com/cash. You must be 21 plus. You must be an Illinois resident. You could bet $250 free on any game you want for this upcoming weekend. NFL playoffs are on. College basketball, college football, the NBA. This is, without question, the best time to put down some money and make a whole lot more back. Go to sportstalkchicago.com/cash. sportstalkchicago.com/cash. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.